They can't do it
007.
either. Or they would have.
007 with the $20 super chat showing love said 10 for a Koofy hat. Nas drops Magic 3 with a lot of features like Cole, Drake, and more next summer and does another Madison Square Garden show featuring the Magic series. Jigga Man drops an album next summer. Mid-90s artists come back outside.
Best thing going on in the Knicks Stadium and in the Yankee Stadium are rap shows.
Jay-Z.
What about him?
I had somewhat of an epiphany today.
Okay, I had a Rakim epiphany today, but we'll get to that when we do.
I would love to talk Rakim too. And we think about next steps when it comes to Jay-Z's next albums, if he even does it.
Oh, this is where we're going.
I think what's going on, and I think, you know, Jay-Z's a brilliant lyricist, always will be. His mind is somewhere else, and as a lyricist, his mind's somewhere else. I think what Jay's been kind of trying to adjust to over the past 14 years, in my opinion, is the flow. He's trying to find a flow that connects with this era because he's always kind of updated his flow. You look surprised. Like, you think his flow's been on point? He's kind of been doing the talking flow. Andre's had the same thing.
That's kind of going back to the whole, like, remember when I told you I was in the barber shop and the barber was like, the Nasir album, he didn't like it because it was Nas's flow. It's like, what? It's like, what are you saying?
It wasn't Jay-Z. He hasn't had Jay-Z's flow. All right, let me say it like this. I don't think he's found a flow that he's comfortable with since American Gangster. Because I feel like even on the Blueprint 2, even though the songs were good, I feel like he was kind of adapting to what,
flow.
yeah. And it was like, when you listen to it now, you're like,
there's a lot of Yeezy on Blueprint.
You know, yeah,
Blueprint
it is.
3.
Even when you look at
Yeezy-ish.
songs like Off That, and it's like he's kind of trying to keep up with the times with it. Holy Grail, he had his moments where the flow was there, but the songs weren't good. And I think
flow is pretty tight on Holy Grail.
Yeah,
the album's awful, but his flow is tight.
Because even the song with Nas or whatnot, his flow is
BBC?
there.
Yeah. No, his flow is stupid on there.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It's like, no, I mean, it's Jay.
I don't want to Picasso, not Picasso. No, he was doing a lot of that during Holy Grail. So I think he's trying to find a flow that he's comfortable with that's connecting.
I felt like the first time I felt him be disconnected, really flow-wise, and it's crazy because I still enjoy the record. It's on Drug Dealers Anonymous. It's the first time that I heard him, I feel like, have to catch his wind on a record. He never used to have to do that. He used to just come in, bow. And that one was kind of like a build-up before he started getting into what you would call a top-notch level Jay-Z flow.
We talk about breaks, and we talk about
a God flow.
Yeah, and we talk about not recording all the time. I think those are the effects of that. And we've never, ever heard Jay in his prime not sitting out for more than 2-3 years. And so now that he's finally doing that, I think that whenever he does step to the mic, you know, there's an adjustment.
Knocking some rust off.
Yeah, each time. So, and with that being said, I can see how the God Did verse is amazing, being that lengthy.
No.
You know, I mean, just for the execution side of it, taking a break like that and being that lengthy, you know what I mean? But even there, the flow is kind of,
He's Jay-Z.
Yeah.
You don't get credit for doing shit you're supposed to do.
But you could be out of practice. We seen the great Michael Jordan go play baseball, come back, and was not Michael Jordan until he got back into practice. You know what I'm saying? I remember that. I remember watching 45 go out there and play the Knicks. It was a struggle. It was different.
Okay, so it's like 18 games left in that season. Like, I'd say he probably flashed, though.
Yeah.
Like he was Michael Jordan for like 6 to 9 of those games, though.
Yeah.
So for about half those games, he was Mike.
But you could tell
that's what happens when you're – that's what I mean is like, okay, so the Michael Jordan analysis is kind of accurate but a little bit off base from this perspective. It's like, oh, no, we haven't been seeing him flash. That's the problem. It's like, no, there is no double nickel game. Remember the double nickel game with the 45 jersey on? Jay don't have that. There is.
I remember watching that game. I mean, it was a crazy game, but you could tell he was pushing it. You know what I mean? He made it happen, but it didn't come as easy as it normally did. I'll put it that way.
it never came as easy for him to
He
score
made it
50
look
points
easy.
after.
He made it look easy.
He
Oh, you talking about after the retirement?
It was never as easy for him to score 50 after the retirement. Go look at the games in which he scored 50 after retirement as opposed to before.
Yeah.
Like, you can just go look at the numbers and you'll see it wasn't as easy for him to score 50. It's like, well, he had been playing high-level basketball in the NBA for about 10 years straight at the highest level, and then he took 18 months off. It's like, nah, he ain't coming back and, dropping 50, like, 8 of the next, 20 games for you. That shit ain't happening no more. That's when you started seeing the fadeaway, and that's when you started seeing him
Back to the
apply like the
basket stuff.
mental aspect of the game, and you realize how brilliant he was as a basketball player. Like, we never really realized how intelligent he was as a basketball player until he couldn't go get 50 with ease anymore.
Well, that's why the longevity to me means a lot in your greatness. That's what Nas is showing right now, and I've always felt like Jay was showing that, all the way up until like American Gangster, what I'm saying, Blueprint 3 stuff.
Things are different now after this Nas and Hit Boy run.
It
so
is.
What looks like longevity does not look the same anymore.
Stephon Young with the super chat says, "What up, Mike and Coop? What up? What up? Appreciate y'all in the building. Thumbs up in the chat so we can get some more people in here." 36 Chambers says, "Pac on my block isn't lyricism. It's content and connection. Entendres, syllables, language, convention, and lyricism is lyricism to me. Storytelling is a factor, but not the biggest one in the lyrics debate. Where did we come with those? 36 Chambers. Like, when did that start?
Hold on. Then what does Chuck D and Ice Cube do, Mike?
They're just connecting.
What is KRS-One doing then, if that's the case?
He said it's content and connecting.
Because KRS-One's always been super lyrical, but never been an entendre rapper.
You're right.
KRS-One not a lyricist now?
Right.
Cool G Rap's not a big entendre rapper. He not a lyricist now? Kane's not a big entendre rapper. He's not a lyricist now?
Not to the level of Eminem.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are we doing?
Not to the level of Eminem.
What are we doing? Slick Rick's not a big entendre rapper.
Mad Max with the super chat says, LeBron and Magic are not better than Hakeem, Coop. Hakeem had Ralph. Hakeem, when Hakeem had Ralph, went to the chip and beat all of the great centers. No, LeBron James lost Max.
No, and specifically with Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson only played, 12 NBA seasons? And I believe played in 8 NBA finals.
That's insane.
And won 5 of them.
That's some Tom Brady shit.
So ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. When you go to that many NBA finals in such a brief amount of time, you can have great players around you. You're clearly the fucking reason. Because what were the Lakers with Kareem?
Yeah,
because they're damn sure wasn't going on no finals run until Magic showed up.
Magic was amazing. Now,
and if you want some evidence, I believe the finals that he lost. He lost to the Sixers once, lost to the Celtics once, lost to the Bulls once. But that Bulls finals, I believe, Kareem's not there.
Well, all of those guys, all those are all-time great teams that he lost to.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Even the Bulls team is a three-peat team.
Yeah, he literally, only time he lost in the finals was like, first of all, he lost to arguably the greatest team ever in the 86 Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
The 83 Sixers were probably a top 10, 15 team. Same with the 91 Bulls. So
Straight
he
up.
literally only lost
to the
best.
Great teams.
Like, to the best. Like,
yeah.
As in when he didn't have an all-time great team, he lost to one.
Yep. Mad Max to the super chat says
5 and 4, Mike. He went to 9 finals because they lost to the bad boy Pistons.
Yep.
He went to 9 finals in 12 years. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We got it backwards.
9?
Went to 9 in 12 years.
That's insane.
Literally, Mike, from 80 to 91, he played in 9.
That's insane.
Noah Keem's not better.
Mad Max to the super chat says the flow Hove needs to do is that Jazz-O flow. I don't know. I think that flow's kind of dated, in my opinion. And I think what Jay's trying to do is not have a dated flow. Like, I think he could easily go out there and rap like he did on Reasonable Doubt. That probably just comes natural. But I think what he's been trying to figure out for this next run, like, what new flow can he adapt to or latch on to that's going to be natural for him? You know what I mean? Like he did in the 2000s. Because look at how he changed his flow from Reasonable Doubt era to Volume 1, which is kind of an evolution of that flow, to what he ended up doing on Volume 2, Volume 3. And then in the 2000s, you kind of got that Philly flow coming in, what he did on the Black Album. He's constantly changing flows, and I don't think he has one right now that he's comfortable with.
I think flow-wise, Pusha T's doing a lot of the things he would be doing had he stayed active. Because people understand, it's like Pusha changes his flow every album too, Mike. It's like the way he's flowing on Daytona is not the way that he's flowing.
No, you're right.
On Until It's Almost Dry. It's not the same flows. He pulled out a different bag of flows. And so I guess that would be the closest comparison that I could think of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, Pusha made his flow more choppy on this last album. You know what I'm saying? And he made the bars more like spaced out. You know what I mean? Like he didn't flip and rap and whirl as much. He kind of pierced and kind of dove in and out more.
Yeah.
Like 1-900 Call My Bluff. You know what I'm saying?
You think it's something to what I'm saying?
When you say it like that, yes, just be mindful of it because it sounds a little crazy to say, yeah, Jay needs some new flows. It's like, oh.
No, I'm not saying that he needs some. I mean, I think he's looking for the one that he's impressed with himself. I'm sure he could pick up on any flow like he did on Neck and Wrist.
I think he's in a tight spot, actually.
What you mean?
I mean, as much as whatever he drops is going to get notarized, if he's not rapping at you-know-whose level, it's going to be like, I guess the guys on the other side were right. He does stand something to lose by dropping. I think people keep forgetting that.
Well, if he doesn't drop, then they'll just keep putting him at number one anyway. So it's like they're incentivizing him to stay at home. Because you know what? If Complex and all these other publications were to put Nas ahead of him like they should, then he might come outside. But now he ain't really got to because –
that's what I'm saying. It can only hurt him.
Exactly. Mad Max to the Super Chat says, Pac, Me and My Girlfriend is based off of the Nas song. Big did have suicidal thoughts, if we're talking about conceptual lyrics. You got me defending Big, a MC I hate. You don't hate Big. Come on, man. Max, you're from New York. Peter Parks to the Super Chat says, what's up, guys? Do you think lyrics have to be complex? Because I don't. Lyricism can be simple. What I like to say about that, Peter Parks, that's the Eminem rule. I think that lyrics, you had all kind of rules once we start breaking that down. I think lyricism can definitely be simple. Mad Max of the Super Chat says, you give Hakeem a healthy Ralph, Magic don't make the finals 9 times. Mike H. with the Super Chat says, Kobe is the only player to repeat without a top 75 player on his team. Who keeps putting that stat out there? Because you know what, man.
You know who did it first? This guy named Hakeem Olajuwon. What top 75 player is playing on the back-to-back championship Rocket teams exactly, Mike? And there's not even a Pau Gasol on those teams.
They're going to talk about Drexler. This is the thing, man. I don't like people saying that because Pau Gasol is a very good player.
How about this? When Kobe
they're great. Let's just keep it above.
How about this? When Kobe won his championship with Pau Gasol, Gasol was a better player at this point in his career than Drexler was when the Rockets won their championship. It's not even conversational.
Of course. I don't like people shitting on Gasol because it's not true, man.
And Kobe's third best player, Lamar Odom. There was no Lamar Odom floating around that Houston Rockets team. People need to stop that. This is what I mean about the Olajuwon thing, Mike.
I think it's revisionist history when you think about the Gasol thing because people who say that couldn't have been watching basketball in that period. I remember when they made that trade, I was like, how the fuck is this trade going down?
This happen?
Exactly.
Hold on.
I wasn't sitting here like, oh, man, Gasol, he's going to be nothing. Mike, no, I knew Gasol. He was a perennial all-star. He was Rookie of the Year. Gasol was already, he was proven. He was just playing in Memphis.
He was. How about this? Kevin Garnett had taken a step down from the top-notch player that he was. Him and Pau Gasol were about a comp, Mike.
Yeah.
It was about a comp.
Yeah.
Like, they was both good for about 22 and 9.
And the length.
KG's a better defensive player and, like, setting up your defense. But, yeah, he wasn't, like, too far off from KG.
The length that Gasol had.
That's what I'm saying.
And the skill set that he had, the fundamentals he had, his shooting percentage, his free throw percentage, he was the perfect fit. That's what they wanted. This wasn't some guy that's like, you know what, we'll take it and we'll figure it out. He could score on
Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
He really didn't have many flaws. because all he had to do was put his hands up.
I think bulk was his only problem. Like if he would have,
but they had Bynum, so he didn't need.
And they
that.
had Odom.
Yeah, so he didn't need to. He didn't need to play big.
Like why are people acting like Kobe carried that team? That team was great.
That team was really.
That team
good.
was great.
I watched it.
I watched it
because
happen.
you know what? There was a very, very talented team over there in Denver, and I saw this Laker team take every second chance point.
Yeah, dismantle.
Because they had 3 7-footers out there with Kobe, and if you missed the basket, these guys are getting the ball back.
They literally bullied everybody, Mike. And if the game was close, you had Kobe. It's like, fuck, that was good. They had 3 7-footers.
Yeah.
And if the game was close, you had Kobe.
Exactly.
That's not just okay. That's called championship team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop acting like that team was just okay or like Kobe did something.
And Kobe was great. No disrespect, but you know what I'm saying? Like he had
Kobe
a squad.
was supposed to win a couple of those rings, Mike. Why people acting like he wasn't supposed to win?
I agree.
Yeah, he was supposed to win with that team.
Well, who was supposed to beat him? Orlando?
Unhealthy Boston? Stop that.
Stephon Young with the Super Chat says,
shit, why?
If you let New York tell it, every MC is better than Tupac.
That's where that whole lyrical East Coast bias started. I told you, you think I'm joking, Mike. It was never every great rapper before. I think Rakim changed some things lyrically, and we'll talk about that. But it's like all those guys had a message.
Mm-hmm.
Even Kane and KRS's names had intelligence and content too. And knowledge reigned supreme over nearly everybody.
Mm-hmm.
King Asiatic, no one's equal. Nobody's equal.
Mm-hmm.
Like even their names had depth to them.
The 5% Nation is incredibly pivotal in hip hop, and I think in the
Slick Rick was still a top 10 rapper before he was locked up. He wasn't called no lyricist.
I think in Hip Hop 50, one of the things that's really been missing, and a lot of things have been missing, but I don't think people talk enough about how influential the 5% Nation was and still is in hip hop culture.
Wu-Tang, Public Enemy,
Rakim, Brand Nubian, Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Like AZ,
older Jay-Z.
Yeah, AZ.
You
know, exactly. You know, I heard Tariq Nasheed is actually doing a documentary on hip hop, and I know he was speaking a lot about 5% Nation and its influence. And I know some of our followers were like, you know, y'all should interview Tariq about this hip hop documentary. I sent him an email today, so you know, hopefully we get a response. I'm very interested in how this how this documentary is going to shape out. What were we saying?
Production team on the spot right quick. We ready for some live stream interviews?
Yeah. We can do that.
I need to reach out to JanSport Jay's artist, AJ Snow.
Okay.
Yeah. We need to get Snow on here.
But yeah, man, tell Tariq Nasheed thing, you know what I'm saying? We hollering at him according to hip hop.
We hollering at everybody.
Love to do an interview about this documentary because I saw that he was linking up with Coke LaRock too. So, you know, some people who don't really get spoken to a lot. And I think that's important.